It is chaos, really. You hear the emergency sirens going, but I need to show you, it's not just on the border. This is Fort McMurray burning this afternoon, Donna. We're right in the thick of it. This is Highway 63, the main corridor, and we're in downtown.
Canada has been devastated by an ongoing, record-breaking series of wildfires since March 2023, with rising intensity beginning in June. Large flames have raged in Alberta, British Columbia, the Northwest Territories, Nova Scotia, Ontario, and Quebec, affecting all 13 provinces and territories.
Well, we're surrounded by fire here. Oh, this is by the bridge. We're trying to get... That cat needs to go! Where's that truck? Hey!
As of September 15th, 6,317 fires have burned approximately 5% of Canada's total forest area. As of September 15th, there were 913 active wildfires, 527 of which were classified out of control.
Everywhere you look, you see smoke, burnt-out forest and fire, and the vast majority of them have been burning out of control. And from up here, you get a sense of what the fire crews have been up against.
In general, the total annual number of wildfires in Canada has declined since the 1970s and 1980s, while the area burned in Canada has increased. Wildfire season in Canada typically begins in May. Climate change has made the weather warmer and drier, increasing the danger of wildfires since flora is more flammable in these situations. The wildfires are also influenced by forest management. Dry vegetation has accumulated on the forest floor as a result of Canada's forest management focusing on fire suppression.
Love to get a shot of these guys. I love it. My name is Devin Oakes, 28 years old. I've been fighting fire for the last 8 seasons.
Controlled burns, which lessen the risk of larger and more deadly fires, have mostly been discontinued in Canada. Permission for controlled burns is difficult to obtain, especially for Indigenous populations that have historically performed them and are disproportionately harmed by wildfires. Canada lacks a national firefighting agency, and budget constraints have strained local resources thin. As of September 15th, 6,317 fires have burned approximately 5% of Canada's total forest area. Lightning causes over half of all wildfires in Canada. As a result of climate change, lightning-caused fires are becoming more common, and lightning strikes are anticipated to treble by the end of the century. Lightning-caused fires account for approximately 85% of all land burned in wildfires. The other half of Canadian wildfires are caused by humans and are generally unintentionally lit by items such as discarded cigarette butts, abandoned smoldering campfires, sparks from stopping trains, off-road vehicles, and land-clearing activities. Alberta was the province hardest hit by the wildfires in May. The causes of most fires are unknown. The province of Alberta proclaimed a state of emergency on May 6. On May 7th, there were 108 active fires in the province. The province has declared a state of emergency. On May 15th, 2 out-of-control fires in the high-level forest area were raging. HWF 036, also known as the Long Lake Fire, is a quickly spreading, out-of-control fire. It is the province's largest fire during the 2023 wildfire season, with an active burning area of 108,402 hectares. It began approximately south of the Rainbow Lake Airport and spread to the northwest at first. However, due to several wind shifts during the next week, the fire continued to expand eastward. On May 13th, the fire made a 25-kilometer run towards the Chatta village. Rainbow Lake was likewise surrounded in all directions by the wildfire, as well as power and mobile service. Alberta Wildfire, the Rainbow Lake Fire Department, and other fire crews from Alaska and Ontario are collaborating to keep the fire from spreading. By May 15th, they had deployed 83 firefighters, 4 helicopters, and other heavy equipment. HWF 030, also known as the Pasqua Fire, is another out-of-control fire that is expanding eastward due to extreme weather conditions. It now has a 35,285-hectare active burning area. It is located in the community of Fox Lake, 13 kilometers from the community of Garden River. The fire is still burning south of the Peace River. Extreme weather conditions make it difficult for firefighters and airplanes to assist with the fire. 76 firefighters, 13 helicopters, and heavy equipment have been deployed. Fox Lake was classified in a state of local emergency, and an evacuation order was issued on May 3rd. On May 13th, Garden River received an evacuation order. As of May 11, 2023, over 100 structures in the Fox Lake neighborhood have been demolished.
No passport, no visa, no clothes.
I'm type 1 diabetic, and I lost all my insulin, and it was quite a pain to...
People have lost their homes. I genuinely can't imagine what would happen if that were me.
The province of British Columbia experienced an extraordinary lack of rain in May and early June, resulting in enhanced wildfire conditions. Approximately 60% of wildfires in British Columbia are triggered by lightning, with the remaining caused by human activity. In a study of the 2017 fire season in British Columbia, researchers discovered that human-caused climate change had a significant impact on the quantity of land burned. Multiple flames erupted in or around Peachland in early June, as well as on Vancouver Island near Port Alberni and Sayward. There were 54 active fires in the region as of June 2nd. According to officials, approximately half of the province's wildfires were caused by human activity. The Cameron Bluffs wildfire blocked off highway access to the towns of Port Alberni, Tofino, and Ucluelet on the west of Vancouver Island for more than 2 weeks. The Donny Creek wildfire in northeastern British Columbia became the single largest wildfire in BC history. On June 18th, it was granted this status. By June 24th, the fire had spread to more than 5,648 square kilometers, 2,180 square miles. As of July 15th, there were 377 active wildfires in British Columbia, with 20 classed as highly visible, threatening, or potentially damaging wildfires of note. Nova Scotia had the most severe wildfires in its history. Only around 3% of wildfires in Nova Scotia are triggered by lightning, with the remainder caused by human activity. Roughly a third of the fires in Nova Scotia are started by people on or near their own property, and roughly a quarter are started by arson. On June 1st, the province had 4 out-of-control fires. During the 2023 wildfire season, Quebec has been particularly heavily struck, with more frequent wildfires than in the past, and fewer resources and experience to fight them. With 5.2 million hectares, 13 million acres, it has seen the most fires of any province. The province had reported 446 fires as of June 10th, compared to an average of 212 for the same day.
So we lost everything now.
On May 28, 2023, around 3:30 p.m., a second big wildfire in the Tantalon area was initially detected. Throughout the evening, it spread quickly through the Westwood Hills area. As of June 2nd, the fire had consumed 950 hectares, 2,300 acres. Halifax Mayor Mike Savage caused the response to the fire unprecedented in the region. In the neighboring areas, around 16,400 people have been ordered to evacuate. According to preliminary assessments, roughly 151 residences were demolished and 50 additional structures were damaged or destroyed. The fire was reported largely contained on June 3rd, thanks to the assistance of the Canadian military and a heavy thunderstorm. In reaction to the Online News Act, Meta, Facebook's parent company, began limiting access to news sites for Canadian users in early August 2023. This action was harshly criticized by Trudeau, local government officials, professors, researchers, and evacuees alike. On May 28, 2023, around 3:30 p.m., a second big wildfire in the Tantalon area was initially detected. It quickly spread. Trudeau accused Facebook of putting corporate profits ahead of people's safety, with Premier of British Columbia David Eby expressing similar sentiments. Evacuees who escaped the Northwest Territories wildfires recounted the difficulty they had in sharing news, exacerbated by the territory's already barren media landscape, as many relied on Facebook to express their situation. Users had to resort to posting screenshots of news stories, according to Ollie Williams of Yellowknife's Cabin Radio, because posting news directly would result in the link being blocked.
Farm animals that I cannot crate up and take to a hotel. They're farm animals, farm dogs, farm cats, chickens. How do you load 50 chickens into a hotel?
They're kicking people out that are helping. So why are we not allowed to help?
I understand your frustrations, I do.
Saskatchewan, like many other parts of the country, experienced a dry spring, which elevated the risk of wildfires. By May 25th, the province had witnessed 187 fires, compared to the 5-year average of 111 at that stage in the season. Firefighting workers were hampered by high smoke, which made it impossible for them to travel and monitor the fires. Unruly fires burned homes and forced the closure of sections of the Trans-Canada Highway. The smoke from the wildfires traveled into Europe as well. On May 23rd to 25th, it was mostly over Scandinavia. On June 8th, drifting smoke reached Iceland and Greenland, with forecasts indicating that Norway will be affected in the coming days. Smoke in Europe was not dense enough to be damaging to health as of June 9th. The smoke reached the Azores on June 25th and Western Europe, notably France, Portugal, Spain, and the United Kingdom, on June 26th. Because the smoke was higher in the atmosphere, it did not have the same impact on air quality as it did on the United States, but projections anticipated that it could result in more brilliant sunrises and sunsets, as well as cloudy skies. To avoid similar fires, all open fires were forbidden in Nova Scotia on May 29th. Hiking, camping, fishing, and the use of cars in the woods were prohibited in all provincial forests from May 30th until June 25th, or until conditions allowed them to be lifted. On May 31st, the Halifax Regional Municipality also shuttered all densely forested city parks. All schools in Shelburne County and several schools in Halifax Regional Municipality were closed in response to the fires. In late May, New London, Prince Edward Island sent a team of 4 firefighters to assist crews in Nova Scotia. On May 29th, Newfoundland and Labrador sent 2 water bombers to the province. In early June, a 6-person team from Alberta came to the province to assist in assessing fire damage to property and infrastructure. In total, 6 people have died due to the wildfires, including 4 firefighters and 1 child. British Columbia saw Canada's first death from the wildfires when Devon Helena Gale, a 19-year-old firefighter for the BC Wildlife Service, was struck by a falling tree while she was helping fight the fires. Ryan Gould, a 41-year-old Whitecourtman, was killed when his Bell 205A helicopter crashed as he was bucketing water as part of firefighting operations in Alberta. Carter High, a 9-year-old boy in 100 Mile House, British Columbia, died after suffering an asthma attack due to wildfire smoke. Adam Yeadon, a 25-year-old firefighter who worked for the Northwest Territories Forest Management Service, died while fighting fires in the Northwest Territories when he was struck by a falling tree. A 25-year-old contract firefighter was fatally injured in the Prince George Fire Center region while responding to a wildfire on July 28th. On August 18th, a hospital patient from Yellowknife, whose identity was kept anonymous, died during the evacuation of the city.